There has been an increase since Notley took office. I think anecdotally we could all say that there does seem to be an increase in extreme language and those sort of threatening language that we've seen on social media. So it didn't surprise me that there was an increase when Notley came to office. It did surprise me the actual numbers, though. They are quite substantial.
I did find that the female politicians I spoke to seemed to have already thought about this a lot when they answered, and the men maybe didn't. It was kind of something they were sort of articulating in the moment. And I think maybe the most interesting person was Shannon Phillips, who, I just blasted out emails to people, and one was to Phillips, who I know has gotten some threats, and her press person said she'll be in your office in 5, which is pretty rare. Like, we have a little hovel downstairs, and
in the basement.
They don't. It's not unheard of that a politician would come down there, but I think they avoid it at all costs. And so I was kind of thinking, well, that's interesting. And Shannon Phillips is a pretty intense person on a good day, and having her, 3 feet from my face telling me about threats to her family, it really brought it home. And she told me that, this was the Wednesday we were talking to her, it was Tuesday, and she was saying on that Sunday, 2 days before, she didn't go to the grocery store, didn't go to the library with her kids, which is a Sunday tradition because of threats that were made to her at her Lethbridge office. And that kind of thing, I mean, she doesn't strike me as the kind of person who would, let frivolous threats get to her. She strikes me as someone who, it would be a very serious thing.
She plays roller derby.
I was going to say, she's a derby girl. We don't.
Yeah, and I think that that really brought it home to me that this is affecting not just the way her work life is, but it's affecting how she feels about her kids, and it's affecting how she goes about her daily life.
There are always going to be random wingnuts, and all of us who put ourselves out there in public know that there are always going to be some random wingnuts. The problem is that we've sort of normalized this, that now people think nothing of it. And, it's not just anonymous people posting these things. These are people posting on Facebook and Twitter with their names and their pictures and having no compunction whatsoever about engaging in the most vile kind of discourse on public media platforms. The really disgusting response to Rachel Notley started long before Donald Trump won the Republican nomination. So we can't blame it all on Trump. But I do think that there is a zeitgeist out there that has licensed this kind of ugliness. And it's coming from Trump. It's coming from Rebel Media and Ezra Levant. And I know that a lot of the people who swarm like that are doing it because they've been incited by the Rebel and told, go sort of, hone in on this person.
Just pick one revolution, like the U.S. Revolution, which wasn't a very violent revolution compared to, say, the French Revolution, but it's still like the second bloodiest war in the country's history. Revolutions are very bloody. So when you start to talk about things like this, that is totally unhinged from reality. The idea that you need a revolution to change a couple of policies that you don't like, or you need a revolution because there's 2 years until the election and the party that's in power, which is polling very poorly too, so it's like 2 years and then you have a pretty good chance of getting them out of there. This kind of extreme chatter, I think it happens on the internet. I think the internet has a very radicalizing force because you can kind of find that one area where you really care about of policy or cultural matters or whatever and make it your entire reason for being.